Names are made here starting in 2026. It's the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. O'Reilly replacing Xfinity as the entitlement sponsor of NASCAR's second-tier division. Brandon, what's your reaction to that name, that logo, what the second-tier series is going to be called starting next year?
Well, we talked a lot about it this morning just in text conversation, but well, I really think there was other offers on the table, and they just couldn't be made if I had to guess. But it's it kind of feels like a fantasy sort of entitlement sponsor for the Xfinity Series. Sorry, I gotta take this. Hello? Okay. Yeah, Anheuser-Busch, what seems like the obvious choice, but they're not there. So I got to go back to what my initial thoughts this morning really to think clearly on this. Let's see. I told you this morning, thanks, I don't care for it. Okay, again, these cars have no identity. Now we're going to call the secondary series the O'Reilly cars. Because right now, I mean, we say the Xfinity car. He's going to drive in an Xfinity car this weekend. Now he's going to drive an O'Reilly car this weekend. In the Busch Grand National or the Grand National Division's history, so far we've just had one name series titles: the Busch Series, the Nationwide Series, the Xfinity Series. You got to have that one name magic. And so it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for three names or three words in the name: O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And looking at our script here, we can already see that we're going to be watching Nope operas on Saturdays, if you will. So for stat nerds, we're going to see now the NOAPS as opposed to like the Minx when we had the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, the Nopes. So on the positive side, though, I will give the positives. This is getting back. It is getting back to the roots, because this is I'm glad it's a company in the automotive industry, right? We're getting back to that. It kind of feels like something you would have found like a late model tour in the 90s that's just in the Southeast would have been called the O'Reilly Auto Parts Weekly Series, or something like that.
Then AutoZone used to sponsor,
right?
Years, right? Yeah,
yeah. It feels like a throwback in that sense. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. It feels like they would have been involved 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So, glad that we're back to the automotive industry, but just it's going to take some time to get used to, and I think we will. Just O'Reilly calling it the O'Reilly car, calling this an O'Reilly car is going to be an adjustment, or whatever they tell us to call it. We'll call it that. But that's enough for me. I think it's kind of bland, but it'll start working on its own. What do you think?
Well, I think we got spoiled with the Truck Series because Craftsman coming back for a reunion was just a match made in heaven. And
it's a little too good to be true.
But again, I like Anheuser. It's not like Anheuser-Busch isn't involved in NASCAR sponsorship. Like they sponsor Ross Chastain. They're a premier partner of it's not like they've disappeared. They're still around.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, like I was asking you before the show, like what's the opposite of like writing a blank check? Like if you're the employer, NASCAR should go to Busch and say like, we will let you sponsor us and you can decide like that. And I mean, I know that that's not obviously how it works and everything. And the second tier sponsor, I think, does get the most bang for their buck because everybody calls Cup, everybody calls trucks. To your point earlier, there's nothing, you have to call it
O'Reilly's
Xfinity car. Yeah. And you have
O'Reilly's.
Yeah, and you have drivers every weekend saying my car was as fast as Xfinity Mobile or Xfinity 10G or whatever. Like there were ways to.
Well, that we can do without.
Yeah, but it's just
fast as O'Reilly parts delivery to my house.
There you go. But when you sponsor a series, I guess it's unavoidable. You're constantly reminded of it, and man, I feel like we were still hearing like in 2009, like people were saying, well, in yesterday's Busch race or Nationwide, sorry. I mean, it was
correcting themselves all the time.
Yeah. It took a long time. Yeah. And I mean, Busch was there for a couple of decades. So That everybody got used to that for a long time. Nationwide only ran for 7 years. Xfinity will complete an 11-year run. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Xfinity had a longer run of a Nationwide. It's going to take some getting used to get to calling it the O'Reilly. And I think we are going to start. We're just going to call it the O'Reilly Series here. Nobody in my circles at least went from calling it the Camping World Truck Series to the Gander Outdoors Truck Series to the Gander RV and Outdoors
Series.
Yeah, the
There's the Gander Series.
Yeah, the N Gravats, to your point earlier about Nopes. And then Lemonis decided the next year, okay, we're just going back to Camping World again.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we just called it Gander Trucks that year.
Yeah. Or just trucks. I think we just dropped. And like with how much money Marcus poured into that series, I think he probably did earn the right to call it whatever he wanted. And it was maybe a good, I mean, I didn't know Gander was part of the RV brand and division until
he got NASCAR through COVID. They owed Marcus Lemonis so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, more power to him. From a marketing standpoint, I guess it was genius. I just don't think anybody actually called it by its full name there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, they put the RV in the name this year. So we'll see how it plays out here. We'll give everybody one more final look at that there. Mm. The green is going to be an interesting vibe there. I don't know. Yeah, it does kind of remind you of the Monster era for Cup, which only lasted for 3 years. But yeah, definitely going to take some getting used to there on that side of things.
Yeah, it kind of feels like one of my other thoughts for you earlier this morning was that would have been a good look for a Goodies Dash series, but not the Grand National division. I was a little more sour this morning. I've kind of been mellowing over it as the day has gone on, but yeah, earlier this morning I thought that kind of name would be better for it kind of also gives some Arca Remax series sort of vibes